I'm waxing my snowboard in the kitchen. Easy as baking pie.
Pie. Hey, Linz.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna teach you how to wax a snowboard.
Oh, please. I totally need to know how to do that.
So you need a couple of things. You need a snowboard. This one has no bindings on it, so we're gonna use this. Flip it upside down on your workbench. You're gonna need some all-season wax.
That looks like candy.
I know, right? But make sure that it's good for the weather and the conditions that you're gonna be riding.
What does that mean?
So if it's cooler outside, you're gonna have a different wax so that your board stays at a certain speed.
Right.
Right? You're also going to need a scraper.
A ruler?
Scraper. We call this a scraper. And you also need a cloth. So flip your board so the base is upwards. You're gonna take the cloth and wipe it down. Get all that grime and dirt off of your board.
What are you saying? I'm a dirty rider?
Yeah, you are. Plus it's spring cleaning time. So wipe it down. Then you're gonna take your iron. Oh, that's the most important part.
An iron. Okay, well, see, I'm a guy, so I don't really have one of those.
All right, so you can go down to your local thrift store and buy one for about $2.
Perfect.
So you're gonna take your iron that's been heated up for a few minutes. You're gonna run it across your board's base. Just warming it up, making it nice and toasty and activating your board, the base of your board. So just like that, all the way across, from tip to tail. Waking it up, waking it up. Then you're gonna take your trusty wax. You're gonna hold it onto the iron until it starts to melt and drip. Then you're gonna run the drips all across, sporadically around the board. So just like so, make sure you get it everywhere, lather it up real good. All the way to the very end. Now don't worry about getting it to the sides or the ends either, aren't a big deal. But just make sure it's all over. Perfect. So when you think there's enough on your board, we'll set the wax down, and then you're gonna take the iron face down and rub it all the way across your board again, making sure you're melting all that wax. So you wanna melt it and smear it all over the base of your board. You're gonna see it dissolve, and it's gonna kind of penetrate into the base of your snowboard. And again, don't worry too much about the far tip and tail, so that doesn't necessarily lay flat on the snow. More or less the middle parts are the really important sections, because that's where your board makes contact with the snow, and that's where all your speed comes from. So all the way from tip to tail. Make sure it melts really good. And don't worry about your edges either, getting wax on them, because that'll come off once you wipe down your board and scrape it, as well as when you're riding. It should not affect it. So you might not be able to see the difference, but I definitely can as I'm waxing or heating it up here with the iron. So when you think that's all done and fairly even, you can take the the iron off your board. And then you're gonna let it cool down for a few minutes. So if you want, you can put it outside on a nice sunny day, let it cool down, And once it's ready, then we'll scrape. All right, and we're back. The board has cooled off. It's cooled to the touch. So we're gonna scrape it. So what you wanna do here is roll up your sleeves to start. And you're gonna take your scraper and you're gonna take the edge of it and go to either the tip or the tail. And you're gonna put your scraper down flat and you're gonna pull it towards you. Sometimes it's easier with one hand to get started. And you're gonna pull it till you get all this wax, dry wax that's coming off of your board. So you're gonna continue to do that all the way across your board from one end to the other. So we're not gonna switch directions yet. We're gonna continue to pull it. Putting as much pressure as you can because that'll get the most amount of dry wax off. It's hard when you don't have the board clamped down to your workstation, so you do have to hold one hand on it. And I'll just push that forward. Keep it going all the way to the end. And then we'll switch directions so we can get this end really good. Remember to keep that edge flat and lots of pressure. So we're getting a fair bit of dry wax off, which is great. But you don't have to pull every little square inch off because that again will come off when you're riding. And it will meld into your board. And that's what, again, gives you your speed. So just any excess wax that you can see that's still dried on your board, put your scraper flat on top and give it a good pressure and pull. All right, so there we go. Really, really smooth and slick. So we'll take our cloth and we'll wipe the excess off. And there you go, just like that. We have a freshly waxed snowboard ready to ride.